So Bravo decided to drop the Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 mid-season trailer on us. And I have a lot of thoughts because we got a feature from Pastor Jamal Bryant. And who's sleeping with who and who slept with the help? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So, Bravo decided on this Friday afternoon to drop the mid-season trailer for the Real Housewives of Potomac, and I'm not sure how you feel. You know, as always, in the comment section, let me know how you would rate this mid-season trailer and if it really tickled your fancy for the rest of the season. Because a lot of you said that you've checked out because of the problematic mean girl behavior, colorism, all of that has been playing out during the season and it's turned you off. Did this mid-season trailer make you want to check back in? And if you missed it, guys, be sure to check out some of our friends that have posted this on Twitter. OMFG Reality TV posted the trailer as well, J Reality's blog. Be sure to check them out. You can see the mid-season trailer just in case you missed it. Pause me, go back, and then come back. All right. So let's just start from the top. So when we got the Pastor Jamal Bryant storyline from Giselle, was it last season or a couple seasons? No, it was a couple of seasons ago because Monique was still there. And we all said we do not believe this story. So why do we see Pastor Jamal Bryant on the show after saying on his social media that he would not return to this space again? But very much like Jamal, you can't trust his word. Giselle knows that more than anyone else, but wants us to believe that he didn't kiss her that night, but the next day. Giselle, if you are trying to give us, a producer told you like we need a relationship, something from you, and this is what you, I don't believe that Jamal and Giselle have even kissed each other, to be honest with you, since they broke up. I don't believe it. As much as we believe that Juan Dixon and Robyn Dixon are going to get married again and are madly in love with each other. We'll get there. So seeing Jamal Bryant, I was just like, really? Is this... If you're going to start the trailer, I'm already checked out with Jamal Bryant. But anyways, Giselle is stirring the pot per usual this rest of the season. So the rest of the season, she talks about to Jacqueline. So we're starting to see why exactly Mia and Jacqueline may have fallen apart. Was it Giselle's fault? Because Giselle is like, well, did you ever thought to G or Gordon, pick me? Pick me? And then they segue to a scene where Jacqueline is crying and yelling at Mia, I would never sleep with your husband. How do we get here? Well, a lot of you said the interaction between Gordon, Mia, and Jacqueline just feels throuple-like. They've denied it. But you also have to remember, Mia and Jacqueline grew up with each other. So that idea in my head now was sort of like, no, they grew up with each other. I just don't see that happening. They're more like sisters. Okay, but you know, with Mia, and if Mia really believes that Jacqueline would do that to her, it just reminds us that Mia told us during the season, that's how she got Gordon. He was still happily married. Her words, happily married, and he met up with her in MIA, Miami, not her, well, met up in her. Damn, okay, all right, I'm sorry. It's Friday. So it wouldn't shock me that Gordon may have eyes for other women, but maybe Mia's okay with that. And that's why this relationship works. It's 2022, about to be 2023. Doesn't work for me, but look, no judgments. So we get that moment where we're seeing that Jacqueline is definitely bringing a lot more than Charisse. Let's talk about Charisse. So finally, Charisse and the Karen showdown happens. And honestly, Charisse, even in this trailer, at least if you said something that was like, uh-oh, here comes Charisse activated, like Angie K on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I was like, Angie K is just here. But then she got fully activated in this last episode of Salt Lake City. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, Angie. You didn't just let her pour that drink on your head and you let it go. You were like, no, I paid for this. You did this. You're not going to do this to me. I deserve better. Okay, I can respect that. Charisse, though, Karen is fully activated as well. Karen is coming in hot. I just don't like to see Mama Karen yelling and screaming and cursing at someone like this. But as a Taurus, and she's a fellow Taurus, I know it took a lot to get Karen Huger there. Charisse in this trailer says that Karen is sleeping with the help. First of all, do we still refer to people in service industry as the help or sleeping with the help? Am I just too woke for 2022? Maybe. Okay, let's retire the word woke. So Charisse stirs that pot, and apparently it gets Karen angry and upset. Charisse is fully activated this part of the season. She's trying to stir the pot. But honestly, at this point, Charisse, you really brought nothing. Brought nothing. Except those lazy eyelashes. Anyways. So what else? Okay. Robyn Dixon. Oh, damn. Robyn. Well, you know they got the marriage license. And they have to get married by February. So the rest of the season, we see in this trailer, she's telling her mom, well, we're thinking about having a very private ceremony in Jamaica. And mom's like, I want to be there. I don't blame Robyn for trying to have maybe a smaller ceremony because she did have the big wedding. This is her second time around. I can understand keeping it small, but why wouldn't you have your parents there at the very least? Because literally, it's like her parents raised Juan. So why wouldn't you have your parents there? But we've said this before. Robyn is, okay, for lack of a better term, fully activated this season, and it's getting into the mix with everyone. And she is just trying to give us some sort of storyline. She's not going to give us a marriage or that baby they were talking about last season.
The issue! What have I done to you?
But she's going to keep talking about, let's get a prenup. And Juan, how do you feel about an infidelity clause? Well, one of the things that stood out to me in this trailer that I didn't expect, but there's always been this underlying, okay, I don't want to say hatred, but sort of like not even frenemy like we see with Giselle and Karen. But Karen, she feels the way that a lot of us feel about Robyn. And she's like, you and your fake ass marriage. So Karen is back there. Karen is not backtracking on how she feels about Robyn Dixon and Juan Dixon's lack of chemistry. Okay, and that this is a fake marriage. So there is a back and forth between Karen and Robyn in the rest of the season. There is a fight brewing. But we kind of got that if you were at BravoCon and you were at the Real Housewives of Potomac panel, because there was a little interaction between them on stage, and we were like, wait a minute, what happened here? So it kind of lets us know that maybe this is residual feelings from the season. But I agree with Karen. No one believes you're going to marry this man. You can add an infidelity clause. Well, we also get a part in this trailer where Juan is like cursing and yelling. Is like, I'm not after. Don't let me after. I was like, wait a minute, Juan. I'm just looking at Juan so differently. If you missed the story that we covered in regards to Juan and what he's facing over at the college where he works, I look at Juan differently. Even the little anger that he's getting, the way he speaks to Robyn, and this is not just brand new. Even last season, the way he walked out on Robyn, the way he spoke to Robyn, I'm just like, I don't feel the love. And I get you guys have known each other a very long time, but I just don't feel the love. This feels like a marriage of convenience. And look, the DMV streets have been talking about Juan Dixon for a very long time. During this trailer, Karen says, well, I know the woman that Juan is with, and she looks like me. Okay, Karen. Not looks like me. And then Ashley's like, oh, she's blonde. Ashley, you were messy. You were messy. Okay? So, look, I get a lot of tea. I don't report on every single tea that I get. But I have gotten tea about Juan Dixon allegedly stepping out of the relationship. As you know, he has stepped out before. Robyn has talked about that on the show. But a lot of you in the DMV have said, well, yeah, I know he's hooked up with this one or that one. I'm like, look, no confirmation, but it's so interesting, though, that Karen brings it to the show. But it makes me also wonder, is it more than one? Is it more than two? Is this part of the reason why Juan dropped the ball? He's too busy in other places and thinking about other things, that he's not doing what he needs to do at the job? Speculation. Here's the other thing, though. Candace ends this trailer with her video with Trina, but we didn't really get a lot of Candace in this trailer. We only got a little bit of Wendy and her mom. Her mom saying, like, if something happens to you during the surgery, I'm thinking she's going to get some kidney stones removed. And I was a little bored during those parts. I was like, okay. Speaking of Wendy's mother, I wasn't going to even do a video or talk about this because it just is such a non-factor to me. Wendy's mom going back and forth with Mia on social media. I'm pretty much done with Mia. So anything she says or does now, I'm just like, whatever. But it was interesting to see Wendy's mom defend her daughter on social media. But I'm just like, okay. So they had a little bit of a back and forth. We found out that Mia has Nigerian in her. Me too, girl. I did 23andMe. A lot of us do. Triangle trade. Slave trade. A lot of us are from West Africa. So she said, I have Nigerians. I was like, okay. This is why I could not do a report on it. Because I was like, just repeating everything that Mia said back to Wendy's mom. I'm just like, girl, just apologize to Wendy. You were wrong. So besides Candace having the little sneak peek of her music video with Trina at the end, there's also the Chris situation. Ray, at one point during the trailer, tells Chris, just apologize. And Chris is like, what am I apologizing for? And I don't blame Chris. But you know what, Chris? What I can agree with Ray here, because he's a grown man, is that apologize just so you can be done with it. I apologize if I made you uncomfortable. However, we know that between Ashley, between Giselle, and people just stirring things up, that we are all like, there's no base here. You asked him to leave. He left. But Chris blows up on Ashley. We don't know exactly what Ashley said, but he blows up and storms out. Okay? I don't blame Chris. I don't blame Chris if he doesn't even come back to the show or lessens his interaction with these ladies. But then at the end of this trailer, again, more drama between Charisse and Karen. And apparently they want to, say Karen's sleeping with all the... I just love that even when Karen is stepping out, she's still calm as a fiddle. She's like, let's go. Calm as a fiddle. What's calm as a fiddle? You guys will tell me in the comment section. It's just a term. Guys, I want to know your reaction to the Real Housewives of Potomac mid-season trailer. How would you rate it? What did you think about it? What stood out to you? What did I not talk about that you want to talk about? On Monday, we will be talking about it with Layla Lynn and Grace Report here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. And don't forget, we will be having our watch party exclusively on TikTok, so be sure to follow me there at TheKempire. Guys, let's continue this conversation in the comment section. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Happy Friday, and thanks for watching.